It's definitely not too late. This was a great injustice. It was his first day of work at the Rockin' Soul or Rock and Roll Cafe right on Elvis Presley near Graceland. And they said, we need to talk to you. He goes with the police, and then they say, do you know what we need to talk to you about? Said, was this about us trying to go swimming the other day? We didn't do it. We didn't get in the pool. And the detective was like, no, it's a lot more serious.
Hello, this is 911. Do you need the police or an ambulance?
June 2nd, 2018. About 1 a.m, there was a shooting.
They shot my boyfriend. He's in the car. Okay, where are you?
At Lamar and Airways here in Memphis. Antaeus Colbert was shot in his car and killed.
Can somebody walk over there with me?
His girlfriend was in the passenger seat of the car. She ran across the street to the McDonald's and called the police.
Okay, ma'am, where are you?
The girlfriend told the police that whoever shot her boyfriend had been in contact with him over the phone close to the time of the shooting. So they were essentially going through his phone, trying to link up a number to a person. Oshay's number was in the phone. I know that Sergeant Eric Kelly came to the restaurant and asked to see him and told him that he needed him to come with him to 201 Poplar. What happened between that 11:30 a.m. and about 7:30 p.m. when he signed a statement saying that he had shot and killed somebody is kind of a blur. I said, I have to get involved. I have to do something. I want to say that it was the evidence, but it was really meeting Oshay, because I read the case file before I went to meet with him. But within, I would say, moments, I knew that he didn't murder anybody. I decided to take the case pro bono.
I don't know how you want to do this, but whatever resources you need, whatever money, whatever it is, we'll figure it out, but we're not letting up off of this case.
The moment that you really work up a case and believe your client is innocent is the worst possible moment for a defense attorney, because now this is really all riding on me. And I am the person who has to stand against the whole system.
Oshay was very different than most of the children that had been ensnared in this web. I didn't know anything about Oshay's charges. Things would just come out. So he would talk about being at Fairleigh High School, and I'm like, oh. What did you do at Fairleigh High School? And he's like, well, I was a drummer. And he said, yeah, you could actually, you can Google me, I'm actually playing my big drum like any other kid would be proud of a thing they did. And so I wheeled out the giant Promethean board and hooked up the laptop to it and looked up Oshay in his band competitions for Fairleigh High School. And there he was, and all of the students just thought that was like, oh my gosh, Oshay's on TV, Oshay's on TV. And when I looked over at Oshay, he's in the back of the room and he's going through the motions of playing his drum. I was like, this kid must have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then come to find out, he wasn't there at all.
we could see that there was a person in the phone as McDonald's weed smoker. And that person had been in contact with the victim 6 times within the 20 minutes that he was killed. It was very clear that we should be investigating this person because this is who she said he was talking to just before he was killed. I really don't have any information that they thoroughly investigated that person because they got a confession from Oshay so quickly. But we'll never really know why the case was never investigated like it should have been. Oshay told them, my friend borrowed my phone to make a phone call. They went to the friend, got a statement from the friend, and the friend said, yes, Oshay was with me at this time. I did not have a signal or I wasn't able to make a call from my phone, so I used his phone to make a phone call. Now, the phone call from Oshay's phone came in approximately 1 minute before the victim was shot. So there's no way Oshay could have been on the scene of the shooting because he was with his 2 friends who were his alibi witnesses at the time that the phone call was made. And in Oshay's case, the detective who questioned him was not even the detective assigned to the case. It was a detective known for getting confessions on murder cases. So he was called in for that purpose. I filed a motion to suppress his statement. He was 17 years old at the time. There was no parent present, there was no guardian present, there was no lawyer present. In the state of Tennessee, it's not required that a lawyer be present or that a parent be present when a child gives a statement. However, they still have to follow the law when it relates to the voluntariness of the statement. And my argument was that it was not a knowing and voluntary confession, therefore it is not admissible. There are a lot of different cases that I cited where the statement of a child was deemed to be inadmissible. The Reid technique, R-E-I-D, is a method of interrogation that is used by police to get confessions. And one of the main tenets of it is pretending to know information or to have evidence that they don't actually have.
You know, this person told us it was you, and that person told us it was you, and we have you on camera, and you know, as evidence that's fake starts to mount up.
But the people who came up with the Reid technique warned that it should not be used on children. There are a lot of challenges with the Reid technique, and they say that they don't teach it anymore, but it's definitely still being used.
What methods do you use to check for a false confession, to check it against the other evidence, if you never even look at any of the other evidence?
None of the specific details really matched. There is a restaurant that would have captured at least the car of the shooter. The police went and retrieved footage, but they retrieved it from the wrong day. What happens is, especially with children, the lies get the child to confess to something that they didn't do. So in this case, they told Oshay, we have you on video. We've already seen the video. We've already seen, you know, what you did. You may as well tell us because we have you on video. And so in his mind, he's thinking, I'm under all this pressure. I'll just tell them that I did it. And then if it's on video, they'll see that it wasn't me, and I'll go home because there's a video.
Many people think, it's so much pressure, I have to end this, and I'll be clear days later. It doesn't matter how much evidence there is to clear you. If you confess, you're getting charged with murder, and it's gonna stay that way until you go to trial.
And even after I got the case, he kept talking about a video, and I had to tell him, Oshay, there is no video. And he said, no, but they said they had a video, and that's why they said that I did it, because there's a video, and so let's get the video, and then everybody will see it's not me. And I said, no video exists. And he just couldn't believe that.
It was hard to watch Oshay change in jail. Forced changes that he was forcing himself to go through. Oshay was a target amongst all of the students. Like, he was just not accepted. Let's talk about this. Why are y'all bullying him? Like, why are you picking on him? And they said, I'm sorry. You're fine. Because we care about him, Miss Smart. And he's not ready to face what he's going to have to face. He'll be 18 soon. And that means he's going to be going to big boy jail. And we have to toughen him up and make him hard so that he can face what he has to face in there. He started wearing his hair so that it fell into his eyes, covering up those like bright eyes, but they were dimming more and more.
I contacted the prosecutor and I was like, listen, we need to sit down and talk about this. This boy is innocent. He didn't do this, and I want to tell you why. And she agreed with me. She was like, I think that this is probably the wrong person, but I can't dismiss a murder case.
She was able to get him what we call an ROR bond, which is released on your own recognizance, meaning no bond at all. You're just released, which is very rare in a murder case.
So he was released about, I would say about 3 weeks after I got on the case. He gets out sometime in July. He goes back to school in August. He was on track for graduation. And we're still going to court because the state hasn't dismissed the case yet.
I was like, he went through the fire, but he came out and he didn't smell like smoke. And that's a great thing. But that's still not to say that he didn't experience trauma, because he did. I will never forget one day we walked out of the courtroom and we were just talking, and I just was so upset about the situation. And I just remember him saying to me, you know, Miss White, you know, they were doing their job. You know, I shouldn't have given a confession for something I didn't do. And that broke my heart, because I'm like, how have you found a way to be self-aware, you know, in this situation when, do you know what I mean? It blew me away.
The prosecutor has so much power when it comes to these cases. You know, when you see that this confession was given by a child who was alone, that means we need to take an extra critical look at this, because this very well may be a false confession.
Really getting enough people aware so that we can do simple things like really reach out to our legislators and our representatives to say, hey, this should be the law. Like, this should not be the case. We shouldn't have confessions that aren't taped, period. We shouldn't have children being interrogated without a lawyer, not just an adult or a parent. That I don't think enough people know to be outraged. Why are we arguing about doing something so simple and logical? And to me, it protects the police too.
What has been happening is we've seen children confessing to crimes that they did not commit. It's time for the law to change in every state. No child should be questioned without a lawyer.
And somehow, we cannot find the importance of a minor having representation when we are talking about something as serious as a felony charge with real jail time, in which this child will lose freedom.
We will never know how many people have confessed to crimes that they didn't commit and ended up in prison, ended up with a felony conviction for the rest of their life. That's the reason why I just couldn't let it go and say, oh, that's too bad what happened to Oshay.
I just know that he would want me to help anybody else who was going through what happened to him, and he wouldn't want this to happen to anybody else.